I don't know what it is, but recently I've been covering a lot of like missing persons cases. I just find them so interesting. At some point I will be covering a true crime case. In today's case, listen, there is some sketchy shit going on. Hey, it's Mel, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, it's lovely to have you here. Today we're going to be looking at the disappearance of Brian Shaffer, a man who literally vanished into thin air. This case is very creepy and it remains unsolved. There is a lot to cover, so let's get into it. Brian Randall Shaffer was born on the 25th of February 1979. He was a second-year medical student at the Ohio State University College of Medicine. He was 27 years old at the time of his disappearance. He went missing from an Ohio bar on the 1st of April 2006. He was captured by CCTV cameras entering the Ugly Tuna Saloon, and he hasn't been seen since. Brian graduated from high school in 1997 and he had a bright future ahead of him. He was a very responsible person and he started university in 2004. His real dream was to actually start a band of his own. He had a tattoo logo of the band Pearl Jam on his arm. He had a girlfriend which he loved very much called Alexis Wagner, who he met in 2006, and according to Brian's friends he was actually planning to propose to her. Brian had no history of mental illness, he was very happy with his life. Brian has a brother called Randy who is still searching for answers. Brian was last seen bar hopping with his friend and roommate William Clint Florence. On the 31st of March, the two men entered the Ugly Tuna Saloon, a bar in Columbus University District. The bar shut at 2 a.m. Brian was going out that night with his friends to celebrate the beginning of spring break. I don't know if you can hear this. It just started hailing it down. Brian was planning to propose to Alexis during their spring break trip to Miami. The trip was planned just before Brian's disappearance. Around 10 p.m, he called Alexis to confirm their trip and he told her that he loved her. Alexis was headed to meet her parents in Toledo before reuniting with Brian on Monday morning. After a few shots and beers, William and Brian left the Ugly Tuna Saloon and went to the Arena District and shot north, where they met another friend, Meredith Reed. She offered to drive William and Brian back to the Ugly Tuna Saloon. Security footage outside the bar confirmed that all three of them had rode the escalator to the bar's second-story entrance at 1:15 a.m. For some reason, just before 2 a.m, Brian re-emerged outside of the bar and was seen chatting to two other women in their 20s just before vanishing. William tried calling Brian 7 times but to no avail, and he went home when the bar was closed. His friends assumed that he'd just gone back to his apartment. All calls to Brian went unanswered all weekend. On Monday morning he missed his flight with Alexis and became a missing person. Brian's family and friends were all questioned. The police soon got involved and searches for Brian began. However, his roommate William 2 times refused to take a lie detector test, which is very suspicious. Like, if you have nothing to hide, do the test. But then again, I'd argue at the same time that these polygraph tests, known as lie detector tests, they don't work 100%, especially if the person doesn't understand the question they're being asked. But that's just my opinion on polygraph tests. Apart from William, everyone else passed the polygraph test. For some reason, the 2 women that Brian was seen chatting with were not asked to take tests. During Brian's disappearance, Alexis reportedly called his phone every day, but it went straight to voicemail. Until one night in September, it actually rang 3 times, and it scared Alexis. But Brian's wireless provider said that might have been a computer glitch. Also, his phone wasn't GPS enabled, so its location couldn't be determined, but a ping from the phone was detected at a cell tower, 14 miles northwest of Columbus. Pearl Jam's Eddie Vedder spoke about Brian's case during a concert. The final footage of Brian from the Ugly Tuna security cameras clearly showed him walking off screen and back towards the bar entrance before disappearing. One camera outside the bar panned 24 hours continuously, while the other was manually operated. The bar had another exit which led to a chaotic construction site. Brian was simply seen entering the bar but not leaving it. The police did wonder if Brian had disappeared on purpose, like he had run away, but that doesn't make any sense. He had things to look forward to. He had no motive for faking his disappearance. The police think that Brian changed his clothes before leaving the bar so he wouldn't be recognised. He was last seen wearing jeans and a dark t-shirt. Neither his credit cards, phone or bank accounts were used a single time in more than 1 year after his disappearance. His younger brother Randy is still searching for answers. Central Ohio Crime Stoppers have offered a £100,000 reward. The police think that after Brian changed his clothes, he left the bar through the back of a construction exit. There is a theory that he's living somewhere else and he claimed a new identity, but like I said, I don't buy it. Others think he was kidnapped, held at knife or gunpoint at the bar, and taken somewhere. I don't know. I hope to God that's not the case because that's really scary. Brian's mum died of cancer 3 weeks before his disappearance. The roommate and friend William was very sketchy during this whole thing. His lawyer suggested that Brian was still alive and he was intentionally causing pain and hardship to his family. Shut up! I don't even know you, sir, but shut up. Because that just doesn't seem like Brian. In 2020, a picture of an American homeless man looking similar to Brian in Tijuana, Mexico went viral. But the FBI confirmed this was not Brian. He would be 44 years old now. An age regression image of Brian was released. Investigators were heavily involved in the case and they did all they could, but William was being very difficult with the police and not being very cooperative, which is very suspicious. As expected, Brian was very drunk at the end of the night. Oddly, there is no security footage in the area of Brian and William leaving the Ugly Tuna. The main theory is that William was involved in Brian's disappearance, but there's not much evidence to support this. Brian's brother, Randy, and his girlfriend Alexis do think that William was involved. I honestly don't know what to think. Brian literally vanished into thin air. No one even saw him in the area where the bar was located. There are security cameras everywhere outside and no one saw a thing. Others think that the security cameras simply missed Brian leaving the bar. But it's odd that no other security cameras in the area spotted him. The whole case is very weird and it remains unsolved, and to my knowledge on the night of his disappearance at the bar there was no weird vehicles or violence packed outside. But if you have any new information on the case, please leave it in the comment section down below. I think William needs to be looked into. That's all for today. That was the disappearance of Brian Shaffer. I hope his family soon get answers. Leave a comment down below what your thoughts are on this case. As always, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.